deliver and the baby is theirs. And you think God will say, no, this is illegitimate kid. No. All the children became part of the 12 tribes of Israel. God had a plan and a purpose for all. So don't you think that when you don't plan how many kids you want to have, it's going to worry God, or you're going to break any law. If you can take care of 10, go ahead. If you can take care of 5, go ahead. But you better ask God. That's what I said in the beginning. Always ask God. And talk to your partner. Agree to disagree. If you want to avoid trouble in a marriage. There are many marriages that have crashed because a child was born without one person's consent. What the Germans say, hat mir ein Kind untergejubelt. Huh? He brought me a kid I was not ready for. He was not ready. The husband says, we have one, it's enough, okay? And the wife says, okay, but I want a second one. And you know, when a woman says, I want a second one, you, the man, you are in trouble. No matter what you do, she's going to get one. Okay? If you don't agree to disagree, you're going to have your house. So it is very important. Am I helping anybody?
Oh, yes.
It is very, very important. Please talk. Let's kill this African tradition of we not talking. Let's kill it. Because we live in an environment that is hostile to our African tradition. Are you hearing me? We live in an environment that is very hostile to our African traditions. I'm not saying that the tradition that is here is evil. It is not evil when you understand it. Are you getting me? It is not evil when you understand it. It becomes only evil when you don't know what to do with it. For lack of knowledge, people what? Perish. There are a lot of good cultures here that you can learn. And there are a lot of ugly ones to here that you can learn. I used to read a lot of books about how to make your wife, like an example that I made. My mother saw flowers like rubbish, bush, and they said the house. So give her something different. Okay? Now, there are other cultures. Africans, give your wife a kiss. It's a trouble. It's trouble. If I tell husbands here to kiss their wives here in this church, many of you go and not come back to any of them. A lot of you will go out and never come here again. You know what they will say the next time? That pastor is at a shower. That's what they will be saying. It was a church. I thought it was a church. You go there and they don't kiss one another. In the church. In the church. How do you say it? They don't what? They don't. They call themselves a church. So you see that there are some things that are strange to our culture. But you think Africans don't like it?
Oh, yeah.
You feel like put the light off. Sometimes you are even wilder than the Germans themselves.
Hallelujah.
See? There are certain things that we think that our wives won't like, but they like it. Listen to me. The Bible says that wisdom, when you embrace her, she will put a crown on your head. When you do, there are little things when you do, it will add so much color to your marriage that it will scare other women from looking at your husband. Let alone when he says anything, they listen. You know, in Ghana, I saw some, and there was a couple that I saw. And all the young women in the church will never talk to the husband of this woman. They say, As for this man, he loves his wife so much that even when you get close, he doesn't even see you. This is what they say. He doesn't even see you because he's always busy on his wife. He's busy touching her. He's busy walking hand in hand with her. He's busy driving her up and down. He's busy. He's like a honeybee around his wife. It was a message to all the women. Don't go there because this one, you can't get him. But there are some other women, the other men, that even when they have their wife's hand, they are like, they are still looking around. So the women see the way they are looking around, they say, this one is a lightweight. Lightweight. They throw you up. Cultures of getting a little bit open. A little bit open. Make your wife feel like she's needed. Like she's wanted. Like she's worth something. Like she's somebody you are proud to present in the public. You know? Then, okay, you put a light off, then I will ask my wife to do something. Basically, I don't like to continue. I would like to stop here, but I want to give you the gist of the message today. Learn to make your wife feel very important, especially in a church. When you're out there on the streets. I know it's a culture that many of us did not grow up in. Women in Africa don't like touches. You don't touch women in public. You don't hold them in public. You don't do anything unseemly in public. Otherwise, they'll give you a name. Okay? But here in Europe, we have come into a different culture where our life is slowly changing. Your children are watching you. They are growing up in this environment and watching you. Okay? When I was coming, I drove to Wuppertal and I saw a couple. Going, and I really looked at them because of what I'm coming to preach here. I really looked at them. And the man was ahead, leading about 5 minutes. The man was ahead and the woman was following him. The woman was really wearing some high heel and she was really struggling. You could see that she's really struggling in her high heel. I'm really sorry. I'm not teasing her, okay? But you could see that she's really struggling in her high heel. And I thought that the husband would be patient with her, and no, he was ahead and going. And the faster the man went, the harder the woman tried to catch up the pace. And the more she tried to catch up, the more she was leaping. It would have been more easier for the husband if he would have slowed down and hooked the wife. Both of you could have taken a slow, and I would never have noticed that she was struggling in the high heel. Husband, why do you betray your wife in such a humbling way? So he made her feel bad. He made her look bad from the eyes of the onlooker. So from observing, I saw that this marriage was in trouble. But wait till they put up the lights. I won't say anything because they are kids here. Then you see the same man who left the woman behind. He's not busy approaching, and knocking at the door. Hey, come close. When I was sleeping, where were you? Now that I'm not living anymore, you want to go on the road? No! Let's learn some things, okay? Let's learn some things. It is very, very important that we learn to adjust because culture is dynamic. It grows, it changes. Our marriage can be very, very interesting because we are brought up with a culture of because of the family units in Africa, we have the tendency to endure more, to be able to take more pressure than people who grew up in this part of this world, where you, for yourself, you are trained to be individualistic. So don't let us really put this burden on our partners to the extent that we make them into slaves. And to crown it, some of women here to they turn their husbands into slaves here. They know that the law is on their side here. So they begin to mess up with their husbands and make them look like slaves. You know, because they know that with one phone call, he'll be thrown out of the house. So you also take advantage of it. And you make the man become a slave in his own house. This is not what God intended. If you make a slave out of your husband, the consequence will come one way or the other. Believe me. That one, no two ways about that. One way or the other, it will come. The German say, he's coughing here, cigarette. He's gone. He was going to buy a cigarette, he doesn't come back. One day he'll go on holidays in Africa. And before you realize, another woman. And you are left. Listen, it happens to Christians. I'm not talking to unbelievers. I'm talking to Christians. And I'm talking about Christians. Born again, spirit-filled. He's anointed. But because of the conditions he has at home, he sees another woman and he's like, could this be a better alternative? That's why let's work on our relationships. Today I want to pause here, and I hope that tomorrow I might have enough time to talk a little bit deep about these things. Maybe tomorrow I will talk a little bit about the dysfunctional home, how we destroy our own homes with our own choices and our own decisions. I pray that we'll be able to work on things a little bit and help one another. Did I help anybody today?
Yes.
God bless you.
Amen.
5 minutes. Any questions? 5 minutes. Any questions before? Yes, my brother. Before I pray. Yes.
Thank you. My question is based on the issue of contraceptives and abortion.
Yeah.
I personally strongly believe contraceptive is equal to abortion.
Yeah.
Abortion.
Okay.
And it's like you have a different view.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let me explain to you. There's a difference between an abortion and a contraception. An abortion is when the conception has taken place and you terminate it. That one you have terminated life. But if you are able to prevent the connection between the egg and the sperm, if it doesn't take place, there is no life that has been created. That is the difference between contraception and abortion. Abortion is when life has already been formed, and then we take a tablet to terminate it. That one is what is called abortion. Life begins at conception. Yeah? Life begins at conception. When a sperm comes together with an egg, life takes place. Okay? Now, there is a difference between a seed, okay? A seed that God knows. God talks to Jeremiah. He says, before you were conceived in your mother's womb, I knew you. That is the seed in a man. A seed in a man is not pregnancy. Okay? A sperm in a man is not fertilized. It's not joined to any egg. So it is not a human being. Okay? God has a plan and a purpose for every seed. But at that point, it is not life. It becomes life when it is able to swim its way and be able to break through the egg and attach itself to it. Then life is formed. Then it becomes sacred. You can't touch it. If you touch it, you have terminated life. Okay? So that is the difference. And because many of us don't know the difference, we tend to think that if you prevent pregnancy, you have committed an abortion. And that is